They told the galaxy that human males destroy the ones they love. But one alien girl learned a truth that changed the stars forever. This is not just a war story. This is a story of fear, sacrifice, and impossible trust. Subscribe now and witness how one human changed an entire galaxy. The alien ship moved slowly through the dark stars. Inside it, a young alien girl stood near the glass wall, watching space in silence. Her skin was soft blue, and her eyes shined like small stars. Her name was Lyra. She was curious, smart, and very young for such a dangerous journey. Her people had always feared humans. The elders told the same story again and again. Human males eat their females after mating. They are savage. They pretend to love. And then they kill. Lyra believed those words. Everyone did. That was why her ship was not for peace. It was sent for war. Far away, on a small blue planet called Earth, humans were living their normal lives. They worked, laughed, fought, loved, and had no idea what was coming toward them. On Earth, a young human soldier named Ethan stood on a quiet base at night. He looked up at the stars, feeling something strange in his chest. He did not know why, but he felt like someone was watching him. High above the planet, the alien fleet was already in position. Hundreds of ships. Quiet, dark, ready. The alien leaders had made their decision. Humans were a danger. Humans were killers. Humans must be stopped. Lyra did not understand war fully, but she understood fear, and her people were full of it. Inside the main command hall, the alien queen spoke in a cold voice. Once we attack, there will be no return. Humans will fight. Many will die. Lyra's heart beat fast. She had never seen a human before. Only pictures. Only stories. All evil. All monsters. The order was given. The first strike began. Suddenly, the night sky over Earth exploded with light. Human radars went wild. Alarms screamed across every military base. They are here. Unknown ships. They're attacking cities. Fire fell from the sky. Buildings broke. Roads burned. People ran and screamed. The world that was peaceful just seconds ago turned into chaos. Ethan was thrown to the ground as the ground shook. He got up fast, grabbed his weapon, and ran into battle without knowing who the enemy was. The alien ships fired again. Human planes rose into the air. The war had begun. From her ship, Lyra watched the destruction below. Her hands were shaking. This did not look like justice. This looked like pain. She whispered to herself, if humans are monsters, why do they run with children in their arms? She saw it clearly, a human father holding his child, running through fire. That image stayed in her mind. Suddenly, a human fighter jet crashed into Lyra's ship. The impact was massive. The ship shook hard. Lights went out. Warning sounds filled the air. Lyra was thrown across the room. She hit the wall and fell. Her body felt weak. Smoke filled the hallway. The ship was breaking. Other alien ships were already pulling back. The battle was too strong. Humans were fighting harder than anyone expected. Ethan's jet was the one that hit her ship. He did not survive the crash, but his sacrifice changed everything. Lyra's ship fell toward Earth and crashed deep inside a burning forest. Hours later, the battle in the sky stopped. The alien fleet retreated. Earth was damaged, but not destroyed. A silent forest burned with fire on the ground. Inside the broken alien ship, Lyra slowly opened her eyes. Everything hurt. Her ship gone. Her army gone. Her mission failed. She crawled out of the wreckage into the dark forest, her blue skin now covered in ash and blood. She was alone on an enemy planet, and she remembered the stories. Human males eat their Females. Human males pretend to love. Human males kill. She trembled. Somewhere in the trees, a sound moved. A branch snapped. Lyra froze. A human stood. Between the trees. It was Ethan. Alive. Burned. Bleeding. But alive. He had been thrown out before the full crash. Ethan raised his empty hands slowly, showing he had no weapon. Lyra screamed in fear. Her people taught her that this man would eat her, kill her, use her. She fell backward in terror. Ethan stepped closer but slowly. Carefully. I won't hurt you, he said in a shaking voice. Lyra did not understand his words, only his eyes. His eyes did not look like a monster's. They looked tired. Scared. And kind. Still. Fear controlled her. She tried to crawl away, but she was too weak. Her body gave up. She collapsed. Ethan ran to her side without thinking. This was his enemy, the one who attacked Earth, one who almost killed his people, but still. She was dying in front of him. He removed part of his jacket and placed it over her shaking body to keep her warm. Lyra's half-closed eyes saw this. A human male protecting her. Before she lost consciousness, one thought filled her mind. Everything they told me about humans might be a lie. And far above Earth, the alien leaders watched the failed battle in silence and made a darker decision. The next war would not be against armies. It would be against hearts. Asterisk. When Lyra opened her eyes again, everything looked strange. The sky above her was not black with stars anymore. It was pale blue. Soft light touched her face. The air felt warm. She tried to move, but pain ran through her body. She made a weak sound. Someone was beside her. A human. She froze in fear. Ethan sat near her on the ground. His arm was burned. Blood was dry on his face. But he was awake, alert, watching her carefully. Like he was scared she would run. Lyra's heart raced fast. This was the human male. This was the enemy, the one her people said would kill her. She tried to crawl back, but her body was weak. She slipped and fell again. Her breathing turned fast and sharp. Ethan lifted both hands slowly. I won't hurt you, he said again. Soft and slow. She did not understand his words, but she saw his hands were empty. No weapon. No attack. Only concern. That confused her more than fear. He picked up a small bottle from the ground and moved it closer to her very slowly. It was water. He took a sip first, then offered it to her. Lyra stared at it. Why would the enemy share water? In her world, enemies were killed, not helped. Her lips were dry. Her throat burned. After a long moment, she took the bottle with shaking hands and drank. Nothing bad happened. No poison. No trap. Ethan let out a small breath of relief. You're safe here, he said quietly. Lyra watched his eyes. Again. No hunger. No cruelty. Only pain and kindness. Time passed slowly. The fire in the forest was dying. Smoke moved like ghosts between the trees. The broken alien ship burned behind them in silence. Lyra looked at the wreckage of her ship. Her home was gone. Her people were gone. Her mission had failed. For the first time in her life, she felt truly alone. A low sound escaped her chest. It was not words. It was pain. Ethan heard it and understood. Without language, he gently placed his jacket over her shoulders again. Lyra flinched at first, then slowly accepted the warmth. She was cold and afraid. Ethan stood up carefully and moved a little distance away, giving her space. He sat near a tree and watched the dark forest around them. Both of them were enemies. Both of them were lost. Night grew deeper. Strange sounds moved in the forest. Animals. Wind. Unknown. Danger. Lyra's eyes followed every shadow. Her people taught her that Earth was full of monsters. Now, she was on Earth. And the only thing protecting Her was a human male. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the trees. Something big was moving toward them. Lyra's body shook in fear. Ethan grabbed a broken metal rod from the ground and stood in front of her without thinking. He placed himself between her and the danger. The sound came closer. A large wild beast jumped out from the dark, eyes glowing, mouth open, teeth sharp. It attacked. Ethan did not run. He raised the metal rod and struck with all his strength. The beast leaped again and cut his arm with its claws. Blood fell to the ground, but Ethan fought back with everything he had. After a hard struggle, the beast finally fell and ran into the darkness. Wounded and screaming, Ethan dropped to his knees, breathing hard. Lyra stared in shock. A human male had just risked his life for her. The enemy had just protected her. Her mind was breaking. This was not the human from the stories. This was not a monster. This was a protector. She slowly moved closer to him. Ethan looked up, surprised. She carefully touched his bleeding arm with her glowing fingers. A soft blue light spread under his skin. The wound slowly closed. The pain faded. Ethan's eyes went wide in shock. She had healed him. They both stared at each other. Two enemies. Two miracles. The silence between them changed. It was no longer fear. It was something unknown. Something dangerous in a different way. High above Earth, inside a dark alien command room, the Queen watched the forest through energy screens. She saw everything. The crash. The human survivor. The moment he protected Lyra. Her face turned cold with rage. The human has bonded with her, the Queen said. This is not allowed. One of the generals bowed. Shall we send hunters? The Queen's eyes glowed. Yes. Capture the girl. Kill the human. She paused. And prepare the truth weapon. Far away in the forest, Lyra suddenly felt a sharp pain in her chest. A warning from her people. They were coming. She looked at Ethan in panic and pointed to the sky, making a danger sign with her hands. Ethan did not understand the sign, but he understood her fear. He nodded. Once, then we move, he said. The lost alien girl and the wounded human soldier stood up together. Enemies by birth, allies by choice. And the galaxy was already moving to tear them apart. Asterisk. The forest was quiet again, but the silence was dangerous. Lyra could feel it. Her people had taught her many things about war. One truth was always the same. When the sky becomes too quiet after battle, the hunters are coming. She grabbed Ethan's arm with fear in her glowing eyes. They ran. Branches cut their skin. Roots tried to trip their feet. Smoke still filled the air behind them from the burning ship. Ethan did not ask questions. He trusted her fear, and that trust saved his life. High above them, 3 dark shapes dropped from the sky like falling stars. Alien hunters had arrived. They were tall. Their armor was black like night. Their eyes glowed red through metal masks. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. They moved fast. Too fast. They are close, Lyra whispered, even though Ethan could not understand her words. But he understood her shaking. Suddenly, the ground exploded beside them. A blue energy blast burned a tree into ash. Ethan pulled Lyra down just in time. The hunters were already firing. The chase began. They ran through hills, through fire, through water. Every time they slowed, destruction fell behind them. Ethan's breath burned his chest. His legs felt like stone. But he did not stop. He would not leave her. Not after everything. They reached an old, broken human road in the forest. Destroyed cars lay on both sides like dead metal bones. Lyra suddenly pushed Ethan behind one of the cars and raised her hands. A bright blue shield formed in front of them. The next alien blast hit the shield and exploded into light. Ethan watched in shock. She was not weak. She was powerful. The shield cracked. The hunters came closer. Ethan searched the broken cars and found an old rocket weapon left behind from earlier battles. Only one shot, one chance, he whispered to himself. The hunters moved forward. Step by step, slow, certain. Lyra's shield broke apart. The air filled with heat and death. Ethan stood up, aimed, and fired. The rocket hit the ground in front of the lead hunter and exploded with fire and metal. 2 hunters fell back. One remained. The strongest one. It leaped through the smoke and landed in front of them. Too close, too fast. It raised its weapon. Lyra screamed. Ethan stepped in front of her. The blast hit him. Everything went white. When the light faded, Ethan was on the ground. Not moving. Lyra ran to him in panic. His chest was burning, his body shaking. He was dying. The hunter moved closer to finish them both. Something broke inside. Lyra. Fear turned into rage. Her skin glowed bright blue. Her eyes shined like stars. She lifted both hands into the air and screamed with power. Wave of pure energy exploded outward. The forest shook. The ground broke. The hunter was thrown far into the trees and did not move again. Silence returned. Only fire sounds. Only Ethan's weak breathing. Lyra cried for the first time in her life. Tears of light fell on Ethan's chest. She pressed her glowing hands over his wound with everything she had. Her light grew, brighter and brighter. Her body shook. She was giving her life force to save him, slowly. The burn on his chest faded. His breathing became steady. His heartbeat returned. Lyra collapsed beside him, empty and weak. Minutes passed. Then Ethan opened his eyes. He saw her lying beside him, faint, glowing softly. He pulled her close with shaking arms. "You saved me," he whispered. She did not hear the words, but she felt the meaning. Far above Earth, the alien queen watched the failure in anger. "All 3 hunters lost," she said coldly. The generals looked down. The queen's voice turned darker. "Then we change the game. Prepare the public truth. The humans must learn what their males truly do," she said. "They must believe their own kind are monsters." The generals bowed. A new war plan had begun, not with fire, but with lies. In the forest, Ethan and Lyra hid inside an old broken underground shelter. Ethan wrapped her in his jacket again. This time, she did not pull away. This time, she held onto him. Enemy and ally no longer mattered, only survival, only truth. Outside, the world searched for monsters. Inside the shelter, 2 enemies became something else. Something the galaxy feared most. Connection. Morning came with smoke in the sky. From inside the broken shelter, Ethan slowly opened his eyes. His body still hurt, but he was alive. The first thing he felt was weight on his chest. Lyra was sleeping against him, her blue glow soft and weak now. For a moment, the world felt quiet. Too quiet. Ethan gently moved her to the side and stood up. He peeked through a crack in the metal wall. The forest outside looked calm, but he felt danger in the air. Far away, in human cities, screens turned on at the same time. Every phone, every TV, every computer. A message from the sky appeared. An alien symbol. Then a voice spoke in perfect human language. "The truth has been hidden from you," the alien queen said calmly. "Human males do not protect, they consume. They bond only to destroy." Images appeared on the screen. Fake images. A human male standing over a female alien, her body broken, blood on his hands. The queen's voice continued. "This is your nature. You eat your own love." The world froze. People screamed. Parents pulled children close. Anger spread faster than fear. News anchors shouted, "Humans accused of alien murder. Alien queen reveals dark truth. Human males exposed as monsters." Ethan's face appeared on the screen. His soldier record, his name, his face. "He is the proof," the queen said. "The male who killed the alien girl." In the shelter, Lyra suddenly clutched her chest in pain. She felt the lie hit the world. Ethan checked his broken radio and heard human voices filled with rage. They lead to us. They attacked us first. Kill the alien. Kill the soldier. Ethan's heart dropped. They turned the world against us, he whispered. Lyra looked at his face. She did not understand the words, but she felt the danger. Soon, human search teams moved through the forest, not to save, to kill. Ethan heard footsteps, voices, guns loading. They are close, he said softly. Lyra looked into his eyes. For the first time she saw fear, not for himself, but for her. They ran again this time. They were hunted by both sides. Humans believed the lie. Aliens wanted the truth erased. Ethan and Lyra reached an old broken village on the forest edge. Burned homes, empty streets. The perfect trap. Drones appeared in the sky. Human drones. Their speakers turned on. Ethan, cross, a voice called. Come out, hand over the alien. Lyra stepped back in fear. Ethan stood still. They think I killed you, he said softly. They think I'm a monster. Lyra touched his face gently. She shook her head. You, not monster, she said in broken human words. Ethan's eyes widened. She had spoken. He smiled through pain. Then the drones fired. Wood shattered. Walls broke. They ran inside one of the ruined houses. The roof collapsed behind them from explosions. Trapped. Human soldiers surrounded the house. Weapons ready. Ethan stood in front of Lyra again. A door burst open. Soldiers rushed inside. Guns raised. Ethan lifted his hands. Stop, she's not your enemy, he shouted. They did not listen. Lyra raised her hands in fear. Her glow filled the room. The soldiers froze. She stepped forward slowly. I not enemy, she said again. I alive because him. Some soldiers hesitated. Others shouted, it's a trick. A shot fired. The bullet hit Lyra's shoulder. She fell back with a cry. Ethan screamed and rushed to her side. This is the lie. He shouted in rage. Look at her. She saved me. She healed me. She protected me. The soldiers saw her bleeding. Blue blood. Real blood. Not a monster, a living girl. One soldier lowered his gun. Another followed. Then more. But outside, something darker was coming. The sky turned red. A massive alien warship descended over the village. The Queen's real army had arrived. The traps were complete. The Queen's voice echoed through the air. See, humans? Your male protected her only to bring us here. Your world will now fall. Both sides realized the truth at the same moment. They had all been played. The warship fired. The village vanished in fire. Ethan grabbed Lyra and shielded her, with his body as the explosion threw them into the air. When the light faded, the village was gone. Smoke covered everything. Human soldiers were scattered. The alien ship hovered, like a dark god in the sky. The Queen had started the final phase. Truth had failed. So now, extermination would begin. Smoke covered the broken land. Fire burned where the village once stood. Ethan lay on the ground, his ears ringing, his body weak. He felt small hands on his chest. Lyra was alive. Burned, shaking, but alive. Above them, the giant alien warship hovered like a dark shadow. The Queen's voice echoed again through the sky. Your world has chosen death. Human soldiers around them were confused, injured, and afraid. Some had believed the lie. Some had begun to doubt. But now everyone saw the truth. The alien ship fired again. Massive energy blasts struck the ground near the soldiers. Many fell. Ethan pulled Lyra close and ran toward a broken stone wall for cover. The blast wave threw dirt and fire into the air. The heat burned his back. Still, he did not let her go. Inside the smoke, something changed. Human fear turned into anger. Human anger turned into resolve. One soldier stood and shouted, "They used us. They lied to us." Another answered, "They think we are monsters." A third roared, Then we show them what we really are. Human radios lit up with calls from across the world. Cities were on fire. Bases were under attack. But for the first time, humanity was united. Planes rose into the sky. Missiles locked onto alien targets. Tanks rolled forward. From space, more alien ships appeared. From Earth, more human weapons answered. The real war had begun. Ethan saw a group of soldiers running toward him and Lyra. For a moment, he feared they would attack her. Instead, one of them dropped his weapon and held his hands up. "She's not the enemy," the soldier said loudly. "She's the proof." More soldiers agreed. They formed a circle around Lyra, a human shield around the alien girl. From the sky, alien fighters dived down and fired at them. Missiles intercepted the blasts in midair. Human pilots screamed through their radios, "Target locked." Explosions lit up the clouds. For the first time, the alien army hesitated. They had not expected this. They had expected fear. They had expected division. Instead, they saw unity. Lyra watched everything with wide eyes. Humans were not running. They were fighting for her. For the first time, she understood the truth fully. Her people had been wrong. Far above, inside the dark command room, the alien queen watched the human resistance grow stronger with every moment. Her hands clenched in rage. Why do they still protect her? She growled. They should fear her. One of the generals spoke slowly. Because they bond. Not to destroy, but to defend. The queen screamed and struck the floor with energy. "Prepare the planet breaker," she ordered. "End this world now." Back on Earth, Ethan heard the words through, captured alien signals, and felt cold spread through his bones. "They are going to destroy the entire planet," he whispered. Lyra stepped forward slowly. Her glow returned. Stronger. Brighter. "I can stop." "Ship," she said in broken words. Ethan shook his head. "It will kill you." She looked at him. Soft. Strong. "I not alone now," she said, before anyone could stop her. Lyra stepped out of the human shield and raised both hands toward the sky. Her body lifted slowly from the ground. Surrounded by blue light, the alien warship locked onto her instantly. Energy weapons charged. Ethan ran forward. Screaming her name, the ship fired. A beam of pure destruction rushed toward her. At the same moment, every human weapon fired at once. Missiles, lasers, rockets, railguns. The sky turned white with force. Lyra screamed with power and released everything inside her. A wave of light exploded from her body and struck the alien ship directly. The collision of energies shook the planet. For one long second, everything froze. Then, the alien warship cracked apart from the center. Fire poured out. The massive ship broke into burning pieces and fell through the clouds. The Queen's flagship was destroyed. Alien army froze in shock. The hunters pulled back. The fighters retreated. The invasion stopped in fear. Lyra fell from the sky. Ethan caught her in his arms. She was barely breathing. Her glow was fading. Human medics rushed forward. They worked fast. Machines beeped. Hands moved. Voices shouted. Ethan held her hand and whispered, "Stay. Please stay." Lyra opened her eyes one last time. "You. Not monster," she whispered. "Neither are you," he said through tears. Above them, the remaining alien ships escaped into deep space. The first true victory of the war belonged to Earth, but the cost was heavy. Lyra closed her eyes. The light around her faded almost completely, and Ethan screamed her name into the burning sky. The battlefield became silent. No blasts, no fire, no screams, only smoke moving slowly in the broken air. Ethan knelt on the ground with Lyra in his arms. Her small body felt light. Too light. Her blue glow was almost gone. Human medics worked around them with fast hands and quiet fear. "She has no human heartbeat," one medic whispered. "But she is not human," another answered. "Machines beeped. Slow. Weak. Ethan held her hand and did not let go. Above them, the last alien ships disappeared into deep space. Like dark shadows running from the truth, the war had stopped, but Ethan felt like he had lost everything. Hours passed. Then night came. Lyra did not wake. Army moved the wounded to a safe place. Lyra was placed in a special medical room, built only for her. Humans watched her through glass walls. The whole world watched. The news no longer showed lies. They showed the truth. They showed the human soldier who protected the alien girl. They showed the alien girl who saved Earth. Across the world, people cried. For the first time, humanity felt shame and pride at the same time. Far across the stars, inside the alien capital, silence filled the throne room. The queen sat frozen on her throne, staring at the broken image of her destroyed warship. "The girl lived among them," one general said quietly, "and she chose them." The queen's voice shook with hate. "Because humans are liars." "No," the general answered slowly. "Because humans protect what they love." The queen did not speak again. Back on Earth, Ethan did not leave the medical room. Day after day. Night after night. He spoke to Lyra even when she did not move. He told her about Earth. About rain. About music. About how humans fall in love. "I don't know if you can hear me," he whispered one night, holding her cold hand. "But if you can, you changed us. You changed me." Outside the room, soldiers stood in silence. Enemies before. Family now. On the seventh night, something changed. A soft blue light filled the room. The machines began to beep. Faster. Lyra's fingers moved. Ethan felt it. His breath stopped. Her eyes opened slowly. Weak. Confused. Alive. "Lyra," he whispered in shock. She looked at him. At his tired face. At his shaking hands holding hers. "You still here?" she whispered softly. Ethan laughed and cried at the same time. "Always." The news spread across the world in minutes. The alien girl was alive. Girl who stopped a war. Schools stopped. Streets filled. People prayed. People cheered. Lyra stayed weak for many days, but she lived. And as she healed, something else began to happen. Alien signals returned, not of attack, but of message, across the galaxy. Different alien races were watching Earth. Now they had all believed the queen. They had all feared humans. Now they saw the truth. They saw a species that protected their enemy. They saw a people who stood together not for power, but for one life. A summit was called. For the first time in history, aliens came to Earth in peace. Ethan stood beside Lyra as ships landed around the world. Not warships, peace ships. Leaders from many worlds stepped onto human ground. They bowed. To Lyra. To Ethan. To humanity. One leader spoke. "We believed humans eat their love. We believed destroy what they touch." He looked at Ethan. "You proved the opposite." Lyra stepped forward weakly. "You taught me. Heart stronger than fear," she said. The galaxy listened. Queen never came. Her power broke when the truth spread. Her own people turned away from her lies. Years passed. Earth changed. The stars became closer. Humans traveled with aliens. Aliens lived among humans. Fear turned into curiosity. Curiosity turned into connection. And at the center of it all stood Ethan and Lyra, not as soldier and alien, not as enemy and ally, but as two souls who met in fire and chose light. On a quiet hill under the open sky, Ethan and Lyra stood together watching the stars. "You still think humans are monsters?" Ethan asked with a soft smile. Lyra shook her head slowly. You are the only world that saved an enemy, she said. That makes you the most dangerous race of all. Because you do not destroy with hate. You destroy hate with love. Ethan smiled and took her hand above them. The stars burned bright, not with war, but with hope.